It's story time. Welcome everybody. Today we are going to be smashing two birds with one stone. I'll be giving you a story about myself from the past, and we will also be working on some goodies. So I recently moved. Hopefully you know that if you're old, but if not, welcome. I'm Bambi Brownie. I live in Toronto currently. I used to be a student, an international student. I'm working now as a full-time employee, and yeah. So I live down the street from Dollarama, which can be really addictive because I just sometimes get bored and I'm like, you know what, let me go to the store because it's so cheap. Well, not so cheap. It's called Dollarama, but let's be honest, not everything in there is $1. So long story short, we have been away from our loved ones for so long, and this is just the perfect gift that you, or the perfect excuse that you could use to go visit a loved one. You can make these. I'm using cookies. I'm gonna show you everything, or you can substitute cookies for like candy or something. It's just gonna be like a little package that you can put together. But the story that we're going to be talking about are my surgeries. So if you didn't know, I've had 2 surgeries in the past, both on one knee, my left knee. The first one started with basketball. When I was like 14 or 15, I used to play basketball with my high school basketball team. But before I get into that, let me just show you what we are working with. So I don't have everything I need. Well, now that I'm talking, I forgot one thing. One moment. Okay, as I was saying, I don't think I have everything I need in front of me, but as we go and things pop into my mind, I'm gonna go grab them. So I have some tissue paper, I have scissors, I got tape right now, I have 2 jars that I got from Dollarama. I baked some cookies yesterday because I'm going to be giving these out to 2 people on my other avenue of income. I need to probably tell you guys what I do on the side, just because I'm sure you guys are interested in knowing how to gain moolah in some aspect. Just give me a while, okay? I'm still warming up to that avenue. I will probably introduce it down the line. So let us get started. These are the jars that I picked up. They're so cute. Can you see? They were $3 and they are perfect. Let me move this. Oh, like this, and you can close it and open. It has this like succulent thingy. It's perfect. So I picked 2 up. And this is the second one. Maybe I should rinse them. Let me take off the tape. So as I'm doing this, let me tell you the story. So the first time I had surgery was back in like, when was it? I think it was like 2012 or 2013. But how it happened is, my basketball team, so I used to play for a basketball team in high school. I'm sure a lot of you do. Like, you know, we all love sports. I played so many sports in high school, but basketball was one of my true loves along with soccer. So I was on the varsity team, and it was just when we had come back from vacation, I think after winter break. I went home to see my parents and family in Saudi Arabia, and at that time, I was going to high school in West Virginia. So when I came back, right before we left, I think my oldest sister had gotten injured by one of the teams that we played, but she didn't have surgery just yet. She was just injured and off her feet, and I think that kind of triggered something in me. But we came back and something happened, and my coach was mad at me. And so she told me the night that we traveled somewhere to a different school that we were gonna play, and she told me that since something happened, in order for me to play the varsity game, I would have to play JV first. And I was like, you know what, cool, whatever, I'll just play JV. And little did I know that after playing JV with those girls that, oh my gosh, I understand why JV is JV. I feel like JV is for the people that don't really have enough skill. No offense. So I played JV and I was killing it because I was playing with people that aren't as skilled as the varsity team. And closer to the end of the game, I was going up for a rebound and I guess somebody didn't like me. And so as I was going up for like a rebound, I think it was, yeah, it was probably with this feet. I was going up for a rebound to like grab a rebound, and on the way up, a girl slid and she took me out. And when I landed, my top tie and the, what is this, bottom calf part, they disconnected. We heard something on that floor. I could not get up, and that was it. So the ambulance came, they took me to the hospital, and I was put into a brace from that point forward. It was so scary. I don't know what happened. I think what frustrates me is that, like, till this day, I feel like it's my coach's fault because she made me play on the JV team. And also because she did not exactly warn us about things like this. I didn't know like something as crazy as that could happen. I feel like she should have been training us all, like letting us know that, hey, you need to straighten up your legs. I mean, my legs were strong then, but like, she should have let us know that like accidents occur and we need to be careful and we should be training our legs. She didn't. I don't know. I still kind of blame her to this day. The fact that I've had 2 surgeries in my life, I feel like it's affecting me till this very day, which kind of sucks, but I don't know, it is what it is. So once I got the brace, while I was in the emergency room, they didn't let me know what it was right away. They weren't sure what it would be. They told me I had to get an MRI scan the next coming days, and then they would be able to tell. And I was like, so what do you think it could be? They're like, it could be anything. We honestly don't know. My phone's ringing, one moment. The jars are cleaned. I took out the sticker and I've rinsed them. Sorry for the interruption. So, where was I? The MRI. The next few days, I went in for an MRI and I was told that my ACL was torn. So I had torn my ACL, my MCL, and that's all they knew at that point. And yeah, it wasn't until down the line that I really understood what an ACL and MCL was, and cartilage. The cartilage was a big part. I'm not sure if they fixed my cartilage back then, but that came back to bite me a few years later. So before I keep going with the story, what I'm gonna do next is just fit in the cookies. So if you guys are gonna do this at home, if you like the idea, you can either bake cookies. I baked white chocolate chip macadamia nut cookies yesterday, and so I'm gonna put them into the jar. If you're lazy and you don't want to bake, you can of course buy cookies, or you can get a whole bunch of candy and fill the jars with candy. So hopefully this fits. Let me just put one in and see how it fits. It fits. But oh my gosh, how do I do this like strategically? Oh, it's so cute. Okay, that one fit. Let's see. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. I need to like, oh my gosh. Look at this, it's so cute. Okay, let me keep filling these in. So, before I ended up having surgery, oh look at this one doesn't fit. Before I ended up having surgery, it wasn't until months down the line. I don't know why I couldn't have surgery right away. I don't really recall since it's been many years. But what I do remember is that after hearing the announcement that I would be needing surgery, the way my coach responded was almost evil to me, so wicked. Like, she knew that I had done the best that I could while I was playing basketball for the fucking team, which I call right now. But in her mind, I don't know, maybe she felt like it was my fault. The team might not move in a certain direction. They lost the player. So it almost felt like she was punishing me. I had to go to all the basketball practices. Mind you, I'm in crutches, I'm in a brace, I'm with a broken leg. Oh, my battery's about to die. One moment. I don't know, I was in a lot of pain back then, and she still expected me to show up to all the practices. She could have had pity on me, like, and not made me go to practices, but she made me go to all the practices and all the basketball games while I was in crutches. Like, it took me forever just to get to class. Why would you add to my pain and suffering and make me go to stupid practice still, now that I have one leg? I don't know, till this very day, I'm still very pissed at her. I feel like it's a bridge that we will never talk about, come across, because I'm not in contact with her anymore. That was many years ago. I hardly talk to people that I went to school with when I was in high school. It's whatever, I guess. So the day of my surgery, I think it was planned, the doctor had planned for it to be about 2 hours or so. My mom had flown in from Saudi Arabia, I think along with my sister at that time, maybe 2 of my sisters or 1. So, oh my gosh, I hardly remember anything. But they had flown in and they were there to help me, take care of me. So the surgery was planned for 2 hours. It ended up taking about 5 to 6 hours. It was a huge surgery. Like, I mean, an MRI scan, I guess, can only tell you so much. They didn't expect me to have as much damage to my knee as I did, but I did, and so they did their best to fix my knee. And yeah, long story short, it was a long healing process. I believe I was off my feet for at least 6 months on crutches. I couldn't take a shower, I could hardly move. I had to like make sure that my leg wasn't touching the floor at some point, just so that I could give my knee time to recover. And so it was just a very, very tough point in my life. But glory be to God, I recovered. My knee got better. I was back into running. It almost felt like I was my old self, but every once in a while, if you guys have ever torn your ACL, you know that like that pain, that difference in your knee, it just comes back. Like, your knee is not back to normal. It will never be back to normal. It would be amazing if you could do things that you did in the past, but your knee just isn't the same. So I was back into running. At some point, I couldn't take, I don't even want to touch my knee. So right now, this is, without me touching my leg, this is how much I can bend it. Let's see with this one. Like this. So if I was to bend my knee, I can do this to this leg, but this is the one I've had surgery with. This one I can only take probably this much, maybe if I push a lot. The bend is there, but mind you, this is after my second surgery. After my first one, my bend eventually got back to where it used to be. It took a while, but it got there. So the next year, after I had recovered, I was running again, I was happy. I was so stupid. The high school that I went to, they had this rule. If you joined, if you wanted to join a team, join, like, let's say volleyball season had come around. If you decided to go to practice, I think after you went to your second practice, you couldn't quit. If you were gonna quit, you had punishments the entire season long. So instead of doing volleyball practice and going to volleyball games, what you end up doing is probably cleaning the principal's car, doing some chores, in the school. Like I was living in a boarding school at that time, so they kind of set it up so that if you, after 2 practices, you're in, regardless of whether or not you like it, you're in until the season ends. So I joined basketball again, and my coach is aware that I'm just recovering. Well, I'm kind of recovered, and she really wanted me to like get back to where I had been, and I just wasn't there. So initially I was enjoying it, but I started feeling a little bit pain. I was wearing a brace at that point because I needed to protect my knee still. And there were times where I couldn't practice, and when I told her like, oh, I can't practice today, she was so evil. She told me, it's either you practice or you're getting into an ice bath. I'm like, oh my God. Have you guys ever had an ice bath? I was like, no. It's okay, I'll practice. She was so evil, oh my God. But that chapter is closed. I made it through. I decided not to go to, I decided not to play sports in uni. Look at the cookies, they're done by the way. I just put the lid on. I feel like maybe one more can fit. Maybe not. I need to go get a jar for myself. But this is so beautiful. Look at this. We're gonna wrap it up. So yeah, let me finish up the story. So long story short, I graduated. I decided not to go to uni to play sports because, I don't know, after my first injury, I felt like I couldn't push myself anymore. Life is worth living, as Justin Bieber would say. And yeah, I just couldn't push myself that much. I just needed to use my brains instead of my athleticism and get through university. So I decided not to pursue that avenue anymore. So I ended up going, I did my bachelor's in New York. At one point, let me just prep up the next stages. This is good. I'm gonna end up shipping these to 2 people, so I need to wrap them. I need it for it to look a little bit cute. I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about this, but we will figure it out. So one moment. We might end up using these, I'm not sure. But here is the tissue paper. We will get started. So as I was walking down the street at one point, I think I went to the nurse's place. I lived on campus, but my residence was a little bit far from campus, so I always walked quite a bit of distance. But as I was walking at one point in my life, I don't know what happened, my knee just gave out. I was just walking and I stopped, and my knee, I couldn't move. Like, I can't even explain it. I just felt like my knee buckled, it stopped. I couldn't move. I had to call the emergency. I had to call the ambulance, the police basically. And the ambulance had to come pick me up and take me to the hospital. And yeah, so I went to the hospital. Of course it was knee problems, and I had to see a doctor down the line. They gave me a new temporary brace, and then I saw a doctor in, where was I? I think Stony Brook, yeah, near Port Jefferson. I saw a doctor and he examined my case. I had a few of my files from West Virginia, and after examining my case, he gave me the worst news of my life. He told me that my ACL was a little bit loose and that I had lost a lot of cartilage. So if you guys don't know, cartilage is what resides between this leg and this leg. It resides between all the bones that like allow you to move and feel the comfort of moving. It's a cushion. It's a piece of tissue that's a cushion. And basically, I don't know how big it is. I'm probably not showing you the right amount. Mine had gone from this to this. It had deteriorated. Basically, my bone was on bone and it was grinding upon each other, and that's why at that point I could not move anymore. So the doctor that I had spoke to had told me that they would need to add cartilage into my knee. I was like, okay. He said that my knee also needed to be realigned because I guess I was a little bit off balance. I couldn't tell. It's for a doctor to tell, I guess. But he told me that since my knee was a little bit off balance, I would have to have my knee rebalanced. So my bones would need to be cut. And I guess he was a novelist. in that area, he told me that there's a chance, a high possibility that from that point in my life, I would have to wear inserts into my shoe. I would be probably like one leg would be shorter than the other. And I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know. And he still told me that there's a possibility that the surgery wouldn't go right. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is a lot of negatives. I don't know if I want to go through with this. And so he told me to think about it, come back, and if I decided to have surgery with him, there would be another doctor accompanying him, because it was his first time doing something in that avenue. And so I guess he wasn't sure about whether or not he could do the surgery by himself. Anyway, I had thought about it, took me a while, I thought about it, and I said to myself, no, it's not happening. I don't know, you don't sound confident. It sounds like there's way too many negatives, and there's still this possibility that my knee could be worse, which he told. I'm like, no. You know what? F it. I'm just gonna deal with my situation, walk with a brace for the rest of my life, and let bygones be bygones. If this is my life, so be it, okay? But how many years down the line? 2 years down the line, my knee problems came and left. There were good days with my knee, there were bad days with my knee, but I was okay. I'm like, I can make do, it's whatever. But 2 years later, my knee became a little bit worse. I decided that, you know what, I'm not gonna go with this doctor because this doctor doesn't sound like he knows what he's doing. Rather, what I'm gonna do is look for a doctor that is more professional in this avenue and can give me somewhat of like an optimistic view on this and just go with it. So at that point, I was living in the Bronx. I was living closer to New York City, and I had heard about this hospital. I think it's like a specialist hospital. They specialize with athletes. And so I thought to myself, you know what, this is maybe the avenue for me to take. Like, if I'm gonna pursue surgery, I need to pursue it with a doctor that knows what he's doing. And I had a friend at that time who told me about his shoulder being disconnected and how he went to a different doctor and they did a bad job, but he found the hospital and they were so good, and he like referred me to them. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm doing this, let me go find the doctor. And so I booked an appointment with a doctor. Hold on. I booked an appointment with this doctor. I believe his name is Andreas Gomoll. The first time I had the appointment, the first thing I laid on the bed, he took my leg, you know, they did the stuff, bending, all that stuff, twisting, if you know, you know. And then he's like, okay, and then he sat me down. He's like, so what's your goal? Like, what is your goal with surgery? And I told him, I just want to be able to run again. Because after the second time where my knee had just buckled, I was hardly walking. The doctor that I had saw, so not the first one in West Virginia, the one in Stony Brook, had told me I would never be able to run again, that I would only be able to walk here and there. So I told him, I want to be able to run again. I want to be able to know, I want to be able to know that down the line I will be able to walk, do the essentials, have a family, be able to run around, maybe have a dog, run a little bit here and there, run and just in case of an emergency. And I just want to be able to keep on playing a little bit sports, nothing aggressive, but just not give up the luxury that we all don't really understand that we have. Guys, oh my gosh, having legs, having anything, I guess you don't really know what you have until you lose it. But I just told him all of this and he said, you know what, it's okay. I understand what you're saying and it can be done. I'm gonna help you get to your goal. He literally had paper and drew a graph, and he went, let me think about how the graph was. He's like, basically with the way your knee is going right now, he drew, what is it? Concave, con something. He basically drew a parabola. Is that what we call it? I feel like I'm losing my math skills now. He's like, the way your knee is going right now, it's just gonna keep deteriorating. If you don't get anything done, it will deteriorate to the point where you can't do anything, and your knee will become useless to you. But wait, what I can do for you is make that line, instead of it go straight down, I can make it kind of just turn a little bit, so it won't go all the way down really quickly. Long story short, he gave me hope. He told me that I would be able to run again. My very steep parabola graph would not be so steep, and I would have my knee, the ability to walk, to run again. After listening to him, I'm like, you know what? You sound so optimistic. If you can do what you're telling me that you can do right now, even if it's not exactly how you say it will be, but some of it is there, I'm happy. I will do the surgery. You sound so confident. I trust you. So I agreed. I was having surgery with him. I let my mom know, and she flew in once again. I love my mom. I love you, Mom. She agreed to come in. My dad, I would have loved my dad to come in, but someone's gotta work, and I love you, Dad, too. Thank you so much for all the opportunities you have given to me and my sister's dad. We love you. I just hope that I continue to make you proud. So my mom came in, long story short, I had this surgery, and I feel like till this day, I'm still recovering. The surgery was in 2019, the beginning of 2019, February. I had 3 weeks of recovery in the US, and then I went home to Saudi Arabia and kept on recovering. Let's get back to this and I'll finish off the story. So we got this paper, look at this. So cute. Because I'm shipping this, I'm probably first gonna wrap it in this. Let's try and make this as safe as possible. Should I double this? No, I shouldn't. We'll wrap it like this. Okay, I don't need this much paper. I'll just wrap one so that I have another one for show and tell, and then I'll wrap the other one. Yeah, I think that's fine. Because I need to show it to the people that are gonna win it. It's for a game that I'm gonna be sending, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so you can't see this right now. It's going like this. I'm gonna wrap this first like this. So when I went to Saudi Arabia, I don't know if I should say, but basically the hospital that I was recommended or sent to was horrible. They sent me to a different, well, they recommended this, what do you call it? Physical therapy center that I should go to, and I went to it, and the lady sucked. I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with her. I could hardly bend my knee, and my doctor from the States told me that, like, in this time, you need to push yourself to make sure that you can get the most bend in your knee, because if you don't get enough bend, it's gonna get to the point where you're gonna have to have surgery again, and we're gonna have to remove some of the buildup so that you can gain some bending, and I didn't want that to happen. So I was doing my best, but I felt like the lady that I was working with then, she sucked. I wasn't getting anywhere. And so me being me, I did my research, I found another clinic, and I ended up working with someone else. Oh, I forgot her name. I don't know why I'm forgetting people's names, but she was amazing. If anyone's in Saudi and looking for a physical therapy session, let me know. I will definitely recommend them. I will go back and find her information, but she was a boss. She pushed me so much. I was in tears sometimes, but I knew that if I kept going with her, I would definitely get to where I want to be. Let me just wrap this and I'll be right back. And I'm back and it's wrapped. I feel like I would have made this more cuter if I was just going to deliver this to someone down the street, but since it's going through mail, I was trying to protect it a little. It still looks cute, if you can see, but not as cute as I would want it to look. But I hope you guys enjoyed my story. I just wanted to be open and share a little bit about my life with you. Hopefully you can connect or find a way to connect, or hopefully we can connect some more on here. But I hope you guys enjoyed my story. I hope you guys will end up doing something like this, giving it to your loved ones. Maybe I'll end up sending something to my sisters all abroad, or what am I saying, across the country. This would be cute if they just got this in the mail. Anyway, this just about wraps up this video. I will see you guys soon with something new. If you have ideas for me, please share them. Please. I will see you guys soon. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. Like it, please. Share, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Ciao.